That night and next morning, I barely got any homework done. In math class that day, I got the first C I got in a long time. My grades started to fall because I was busy trying to save the world, or at least save my old friend. I knew now what happened. Why Melissa and I weren't friends anymore, at least not close. Something gone terribly wrong. Her parents no longer loved her. They pretended to. They sounded like they did, but Melissa knew it was all wrong. Every time I thought, I felt like my insides were burning up from the anger. I guess I knew a little bit of what like she was feeling. When my parents got divorced, I worried that might meant they didn't love me anymore. I was wrong, and they still did. I just don't see my dad as much as I'd like to, but he does love me. My mom loves me. Even my sisters love me. Love's pretty important, like wearing a suit of armor. It makes you strong. On the way out of math class, Jake came sidling up next to me. Meeting later, okay? Yeah, whatever, wear it. Church tower where we were the other day. Okay, but it's a long walk. He turned and faced me, walking backwards and grinning. So don't walk. He waved and headed out down the hall. 2 hours later, it's near, and let me tell you something, getting that big ego body off the ground isn't easy. It's work. I wonder if my human body got any aerobic benefits on the exercise. I was wondering that too, but I don't think they do. It wouldn't make sense for them to get any actual muscle benefit from that because it's not their muscles getting the workout. Once I cleared the ground, I had to catch a little gust of wind and climb higher, but it wasn't until I made it above the trees and school buildings to start getting a good solid breeze that would lift me up. When I finally got high enough spot to Tobias, his reddish tail feather was like a beacon. Man, now's the workout site close enough. Tell you about it, follow me. The mall's an excellent place for thermals. The mall? Why there? It's all a parking space. See, the concrete gets hot in the sun. The concrete, cars, buildings are all hot, so there's always a nice updraft. Flying's like the nicest thing in the world, I said dreamily. Yeah, it is, Spice agreed. One of the nicest things, but there's stuff you miss too. Like being sitting on a couch with a can of pop and a bag of chips and no school next day and something good on TV. That's a good feeling too. He didn't sound like he was feeling sorry, he's just mentioning something that happened to be true. There's a church tower. I see another bird hanging for it. I think I see Cassie coming out of her morph. Down we go. 10 minutes later, I morphed back my human body. You know what we need, Marco said? We need to coordinate these morphing outfits. I mean, Cassie's wearing green powered leggings and a purple stretch top. Jake's got these awful bike shorts. Rachel's in these stylish as always in her black tights, but put all together we look pretty scruffy. What do you want? You want us all wear blue and wear a big number 4 in our chest, become the Fantastic Four? The Fantastic Four plus the Amazing Bird Boy. No way, Marco said, not the Fantastic Four. More of an X-Men kind of thing. Not being identical, just having some style, you know? Right now, if anyone saw us, they wouldn't think, oh, cool, superheroes. They'd think, man, those people don't know how to dress. Marco, I think it's time to get out of this fantasy here. So not superheroes, it's in the comic book. Yeah, but I really want it to be a comic book, because in a comic book, the heroes don't get killed. I mean, okay, they killed Superman at a time, but that was just temporary. Can we do a reality here, Jake asked. We have business to discuss. What's the matter combining green and purple? Cassie asked Marco. It's a major fashion no-no. When Jake put a hand over Marco's mouth where he could say something else, Marco and people, and I use the term loosely, we need to decide what's happening next. Marco pried Jake's hand away. I want to decide what we're not doing next. I should be spending more time with my dad. You know, he's still messed up over my mom. His voice always cracked when he mentioned his mom. He started sounding tough and all, but his voice would end up in that little break, that little wobble. It had been 2 years since his mother disappeared. Then again, she drowned. They said she drowned, though they never found her body. Her father's had been falling apart. The main reason so reluctant to be an Animorph. He was worried if anything ever happened to his dad was totally give up. I could see Jake about to say something impatient, and I was feeling the same way like Marco just needed to do a reality, but Cassie put her hand on Marco's arm. Don't ever let anything get in the way of spending time with your dad, she said earnestly. He needs you. We need you too, Marco, but your dad comes first, so did Jake and then me. There ain't much point in doing this if we're getting why we're doing it. I thought Melissa, I thought my mom and dad and how great it was to have them, even if they got on my nerves. Cassie's right, you get home to your dad you love him, Marco. I blurted out that thing about it, what the kind of thing I normally say. Thank you, Dr. Rachel, Marco said. He said something I could tell he knew what I was talking about. He's suddenly all business. He rubbed his hands together. Okay, let's get serious. How are we going to get ourselves killed next? Turn to flies at a frog convention? Morph into turkeys on Thanksgiving? I want to go back to the Chapmans. Why, Jake said. We learned a lot already. We didn't learn the location of the Kendrona I pointed out. That's what we need to do sooner or later. The analyte made it pretty clear to bias Kendrona's the weak point. It sends out rays that are concentrated in the Yerk pool, so we destroy it, we hurt them bad. Marco raised a skeptical eyebrow. Excuse me, Rachel, but what is the Kendrona? I mean, we know what it does, but what does it look like? How big is it? For all we know, it could be the size of a lighter and could be in Visitor Free's pocket. That's not the impression I got from the Andalite, Tobias said. Whatever, the point is how do we destroy something we don't even know what it is? That's why you have to follow the one lead we have. Chapman. He communicates with Visitor Free, two of them know where it is, if I can spy on him, maybe I can find out. They're all staring at me. Marco looked at me like I was crazy. Jake looked thoughtful. Cassie looked worried, like she wasn't sure what I was saying. Tobias turned his fierce and intimidating gaze on me. Are you sure you're just going back to spy on Chapman? He asked privately. I don't think you should go in there alone, Jake said. How is anyone going to go in with me? We can't have two cats running around. I mean, as Fluffer can go anywhere without being suspicious. See, I hadn't told him about Visor telling Chapman to kill me. I knew it was wrong to keep secrets like that from the group, but I told them they would never let me go back. Unfortunately, though Jake might not be that perceptive, Cassie is. Are you sure nothing went wrong? She looked at me just kind of sideways as she was trying to figure something out. It was scary, but nothing happened. It wasn't exactly a lie. Kind of a lie, but not exactly. Cassie thought for a moment, her eyes went blank, and something new was going on. Tobias was talking to her privately. He was telling her something. She nodded like she agreed. Tobias didn't know what happened to Visor Free, but he did know it was pretty freaky when it came to that basement. I think I should find a way for someone to go along with Rachel, Guest suggested. What are you gonna do, turn to a flea and ride on my back? She just might give a shrug. I'm just saying we should think about it. Okay then, Jake said. Rachel goes in one more time. Maybe we'll get lucky. We haven't got lucky since we went to that construction site and met our first alien. Maybe that'll change. I'm going in and finding a way to hurt those creeps. That's not the only reason you're going back in there, Tobias said. You're not going in just to hurt them, you're going back in there because you want to help Melissa. Same thing, I said. I guess the others understood who I was talking to. Chapter 16. It was a dark and stormy night. Sorry, I always wanted to write that, but it really was a dark and stormy night. Where's Jake? I asked. We got to go down the street from Chapman's house. Everyone else was there, Cassie and Marco wearing raincoats, although I hadn't started raining yet. Tobias saw her head trying to hold on to a branch in a tree while the wind was trying to knock him off. Jake had to stay home, something about his dad grounding him. Why would his dad ground him? Why would I know? You know how parents are. Don't ask me to explain them. Really? I bit my lip. Somehow I felt more nervous about Jake being absent. The crazy wind whirling through branches wasn't helping. I spotted Fluffer, Tobias said so all could hear. He's torturing a little rat he found. At least it's not a shrew. Look, I'm not a fan of shrews just because I sort of was one. Okay, look, we can't always count on all of us being together, I guess, so we go without Jake. I glanced at Cassie. She smiled blandly. Something was going on with her, but I didn't have time to find out what it is. Let's go up at the area, Tobias volunteered. He opened his wings a little and immediately propelled out of the tree by the wind. I watched the road expertly swooping quickly in the air beyond the range of my weak eyes. After a while, I saw something shooting overhead at 50 miles an hour. All clear, he said as he shot past. I'm just picturing him just shouting at it extremely fast, and then she's just gone. I felt strange, a little nauseous, a little scared. Everything seemed weird tonight. The weird thing was I knew I'd feel better as soon as I morphed. I concentrated. The first range I felt just as my tail grew out. By the time I fell on the ground and surrounded by a tent in my own clothing, the rain started for real. Oh, perfect, Margaret said. At least this is more and more fun. At least you have a raincoat. I have nothing but fur, and rain makes it impossible to smell anything. Cassie squatted next to me. She was a normal-sized girl, and yet when you're a 10-pound cat, every human being was like Godzilla. Be careful, Rachel. She stroked my back. I started moving away and kept her hand on my back for a few seconds, and smiling mysteriously, she stood up. I found I soon lost interest in her expression. Cats don't really have any interest in humans at all unless food's involved. I'm out of here, I said. I took off down a medium run. Cats don't like rain. I could feel the cat brain's distaste. I always thought they hated water, but that wasn't their attitude. To him, it was all about smells and sounds, and rain washes away scents, and without them, they feel cut off and lost. Almost as bad as losing smells, so I had rain plopping around makes it hard to listen to the important sounds. High-pitched squeaks and little furtive scritching noises. I feel like that's not entirely true because, cats can care about people. I've seen it happen, but you know. And in general, I imagine they wouldn't. Unless food's involved. Rain to cats like being in dark to human beings make the whole world kind of boring. So I ran through the cage, or actually looking forward to the friendly smells and sounds of home. Or at least as a Fluffer was thinking. I was still wondering why Jake wasn't here. I was wondering what it was some kind of bad omen. There was a bad feeling over this entire mission. I knew a way around the home, both as a cat and a human. I was pretty sure I knew the routine. Last time Visor made contact at right at 8 o'clock. If he communicated with Chapman at the same time, that'd be right on schedule. Chapman was sitting on the couch, same as last time, just I hoped about 3 minutes later he stood up and headed down the basement. My plan was to go down there with him. I remember to lay out a little secret room under the desk. I knew if I could somehow follow when I'm seeming under the desk, I'd be invisible to him and the hologram. The problem was that it counted on Chapman not noticing me. He headed for the basement door. I fell in step. The trick would stay just inches behind his feet. From there he couldn't see me, but I just watched his feet closely. If I hesitated, I'd plow right into him. That'd be a very uncat-like thing to do. He walked, and I kept pace perfectly just behind. He headed down the stairs. I figured it was probably easier. When people walk down the stairs, they usually look where they're going. They don't turn around and look behind them. But one sound, one clumsy move, and I was finished. When we reached the bottom of the stairs, suddenly Chapman stopped dead. I led behind the couch, looked around like he heard a noise, or maybe just sensed something. It's true, people can just have a feeling that something's behind them. I froze, I didn't move a muscle, and he started to a door and I fell on a step again. So, what's happening? I nearly had a heart attack. My tail puffed up, my back fur went straight up, I almost bolted. Chapman stopped and I nearly got entangled in his legs. His right foot moved, I dodged, he backed up, I squirmed out of the way. It's me, Jake. What's going on, Rachel? Jake? Chapman opened the door to the secret room and stepped through. I was right behind his monstrous big feet. He happened to glance down, but he didn't. And when he turned around and shut the door, I bolted for the desk. I jammed my body as far back in dark corners as I could. I made it. Barely. I was alive. So far. Rachel, can you hear me? Jake, where are you? You scared me half to death. Are we okay? He's unconcerned. Me, I was angry. What do you mean, are we okay? Where are you? Well, I'm kind of on you. On me? Jake does not tell me playing jokes. Chapman sat down, his feet pushed back beneath the dishes, nearly missed me and once again dodged out of the way. Sorry, I can't really see. I kept my eyes focused on his feet. Cats have incredible powers of concentration. I have a guitar under his feet, each as big as I was. I had to stay out of their way. That was the key to staying alive. Jake, we're in kind of a situation here. It's like 10 words or less. Where are you? In 10 words or less, I am morphed. I'm a flea. Chapter 17. Excuse me? It wouldn't be funny if I hadn't been so terrified. Are you telling me you morphed into a flea? A flea? Yeah, I'm on your back, or your head, I can't really tell. I don't really have eyes, at least not eyes that see anything I understand. I mean, all I know is it's warm or not warm. I think I sense blood, that's about it. I can kind of sense motion. Like when your hair stood up, I could feel there's something going on around me. Jake, this is sick, this is beyond sick. What's the matter with you, a flea? Are you insane? Just being a lizard made you sick, this is way worse. Actually, it's, kind of okay. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but the flea mind is so limited it's not hard to control. All I know is to move toward a sense of warm blood and eat. Like, I don't know, like I'm not even really in a flea because I can't see or sense much. I expect to be horrible when Cassie and Marco test out. They're on this with you? Of course, that's why she patted my head. She was depositing Jake on me. Rachel, we were worried. We figured someone should go along with you. Tobias and... So Tobias is in on you too. Ever see a flea from the front? It's hilarious how skinny they are. I should do that sometime then. I'm sure there's pictures. Rachel, we're worried about you. Okay, I read that. Oh, so Tobias is in on this too. Tobias said you're not telling us everything. He wasn't sure why or what it is you weren't telling. I sighed ignorantly. I guess it's good to have friends who care, but on the other hand, Jake practically made me run to Chapman. Besides, I didn't morph into a flea and crawling my fur just made me the worst creeps you could imagine. It's so it can slip between hairs. Ah. Suddenly the brilliant light went on. Visitor 3 appeared in the room. Jake, the visitor's here in hologram, so don't distract me, okay? We're hiding under a desk about half an inch away from Chapman's foot. Oh, but, it doesn't matter if he sees you, right? I mean, I'll just figure you're the cat, no biggie, so you shouldn't be acting suspicious. I hesitated. Well, I'll have to come out sooner or later. Jake, the thing I didn't tell you is that Viceroy did see me. He told Chapman he should probably, kill me? He was worried I might be an Andalite morph. For a while, he didn't say anything. I feel like he's trying to keep himself from yelling. And he failed. Rachel, are you crazy? Can you not hear after that? Are you insane? But then Chapman began to speak. Welcome, visitor. Isness 226 of the Sultan near our pool. Welcome. Submits to you. May the Corona shrine and strengthen you. And you, he replied courtly. Report. I have 4 new voluntary hosts of visitor. 2 children recruited from the sharing, the front organization. Of the 2 adults, one is the agent for the FBI, a sort of policeman. He may be very fool. His artificial voice is flat but carried anger well. Do I care about a handful of hosts? What have you learned of the bandits? Visitor, what can I do unless they show themselves? They use earth animals to attack in the pool. They use powerful, dangerous earth animals. Find out how they acquire such morphs. Maestros tell me such animals are rare on this part of the planet. Yes, visitor, I will do... Yes, you will. And we have another matter. We need 6 more human controllers, suitable for work as guards. They'll be used to increase the guard on a Condrona. What's happening, Jake asked. Chapman's getting reamed by Visitor Free. Too bad Marco in here. He'd enjoy seeing Chapman shoot out. He wants us bad. Or maybe he wants the allies that he thinks we are. He's putting extra guards on Condrona, human controllers. That's interesting. Maybe he'll... The foot moved too quickly. He pointed a shoot at me in the ribs. Chapman pushed back from the desk. He passed right through the Visitor-Free hologram. For a sec I saw them united as if they were one horrible creature. What's happening, Visitor-Free demanded. Chapman stared at me, horror and fury in his eyes. I flattened my ears back against my tail, my claws are out, my teeth were bared. It's the animal, Visitor, the cat, he said, a voice full of loathing and fear. Visitor-Free seemed to make a seething, half-hissing noise. You should have killed it when I told you to, Isness 226. But Visitor, and yet, it all works out to my advantage. Now there is no doubt this cat is one of the Andalite bandits. Jake, we're busted really bad. We'll know how to search for the Andalites. We have one right here with us. Shall I kill it? No, don't kill it. Seize it. Seize it now before it can morph back. By the time I'm done with this one, we will have them all. It's been a long time since I tortured a proud Andalite warrior, but I know how to break them. Seize it and bring it to me. Chapman knew better than to argue. Chapter 18. Chapman dived. His hands were open wide, grabbing for me. I was trapped with no way out. No way to open that door and escape. Trapped. No sensible choice but to surrender, but the cat and I were in agreement on this. You never surrender. I found my closet thin. My pupils were wide, ready for every tiny movement. My ears were flat against my skull. My needle-sharp teeth were bare. My liquid steel muscles coiled. Chapman's hands seemed to slow down like he was moving in slow motion. Everything seemed slower in my heightened cat senses, only I was moving at normal speed. And my paw lashed out, my claws bit flesh. I saw 3 white tracks on the back of his hand. I could smell the blood that flowed. Ah, he howled. He backed away. Get it, Visor shouted. What's going on, Jake wondered. I feel like we're bouncing around a lot. Chapman got a determined look on his face. He came at me again, and I was cornered with no way out. I slashed, and he cried out. My claws were lacerating him, tearing furrows into his arms and hands. He grabbed me around the middle. The cat and me hated that. Hated it a lot. I brought my teeth into it. I was a 10-pound bundle of lightning-fast claws and teeth. Chapman's hands like a raw hamburger by this point. A magnificent animal, Visor commented. Twist it around. Hold it with your forearm. That's right. I did a lot of damage. Believe me, he got hurt. But in the end of how tough I was 10 pounds of killer. Chapman was 18 times bigger. He got his forearm around my chest. He had me pressed against his chest. My front legs were pinned. With his other arm, he managed to grab my hind legs. All I could do was bite. I bit him again and again. Although I couldn't hurt him, I couldn't kill him. Or rather, I could hurt him, I couldn't kill him. I couldn't stop him. His fear was greater than the pain I was causing. Bring it to me, Visor said enthusiastically. Bring it to me. I'll come collect the nearest landing site. Visor, what if it... What if it resumes Andalite shape? You have weapons. If it tries to remorph, kill it. Yes, rotten little beast. Yes, Visor, I will go directly. We will deal with this bandit and bring the girl too. The girl, Melissa... I've been indulgent for too long. This Andalite spy has penetrated your home because of the girl. I've already chosen the Yerk for her. Bring her to the Andalite. Obey me, Isness 226, or prepare to face the Vanarchs. Mr. Free's hologram vanished, and he suddenly threw me across the room. I twisted me and brought my legs around for a landing. I hit the floor and skidded. Okay, something is definitely going on here. By the time I was up, Chapman reached his desk and opened a drawer. His bloody hand came with a small pistol-like device I'd seen before. It was a handheld Dracon beam. He leveled the weapon at me. He was shaking. His face was twitching. The weapon jerked a little each spasm, but I knew he still hadn't gotten me if I tried to move. Alright, you gotta tell me what's going on. A few seconds ago, I felt another warm body close by. I think I'm sensing blood. We're in kind of a mess. What kind of mess? Chapman has a Dracon beam pointing at me. He knows I'm not a cat. He thinks I'm an Andalite. He's taking me to Visor Free. Oh, this is bad. It gets worse. Visor Free wants Melissa, too. He opened a door crack. Get down here now, he yelled upstairs. I guess he saw my eyes flick toward a door. He made a fierce, vicious grin. Try it, Andalite. Go ahead and try it. I love the excuse to fry you. I decided to head for the door. You made life very difficult for me. Very difficult. If I had to let Visor Free take the girl, my host would make life annoying. You know how tiring it is having a cooperative host? No, of course you don't. But trust me, Andalite, I will gladly kill you. Miss Chapman appeared at the door. What is it? This cat is one of the Andalite bandits in Morse. Visor Free wants him. Get me the cage you used to take him to the vet. Miss Chapman nodded and disappeared. What's going on? Miss Chapman's getting in a cage. Getting a cage. I was feeling utterly defeated. Because of me, Yerk's gonna take Melissa. I failed. I made a mess of things. Miss Chapman brought the cage. She opened a little barred door. In, Chapman snapped. I didn't move. In, he said in a cool whisper, or I'll finish you right here. In like a minute, I walked in the cage. Miss Chapman closed the door and made sure it was locked. Chapman snapped up the cage and carried me to the top of the stairs. Now, he snapped at his wife, he'll get... Peering through the slats inside the cage, I saw him stagger. His face was twitching like a crazy man. He seemed a hard time getting control of his mouth. Go get the girl, he said through gritted teeth. Miss Chapman started to obey, but then Chapman cried out. He fell to his knees. He is fighting me. Host rebellion, Miss Chapman muttered under her breath. She seemed horrified and fascinated all at once. Then suddenly her left arm slapped her own face. Mine too. Stop it, Chapman, he said. Stop it or I'll break you. I'll leave you nothing but a shell. You can't win. No host was ever succeeded in rebelling. But the host wasn't giving up. It was terrible in a way it made you want to watch. Anyone watching looked as if our assistant principal's wife were nuts. He was taunting himself and twitching and contorting, unable to get to his feet. The hosts are fighting the Earth, told Jake. The human brains are resisting. Miss Chapman's trying to choke herself with her own hand. The Earth's trying to gain control. It's incredible. I can't believe it. I didn't know they could fight back this hard. It's because of Melissa they're fighting for their daughter. Chapman cried out and suddenly lurched to his feet. I will win, Chapman. You can't resist. And it was true, the host was losing. Isness 226 were gaining control. The thing that's happened to Miss Chapman, the Yerk in her head was forcing her rebellious hand away from her throat. But neither of them looked good. They were exhausted, reported Jake. They were gaining control, but they're both a mess. Sweating, pale, trembling, and jerking. Chapman looked at his wife, or at least a Yeerk slug in his brain ordered his eyes to look toward the body that controlled by a different Yeerk. It's hard to think of him as just being Chapman now. I've seen the proof by now. I even knew what it was like. There are two people in my head too. I fought to control Shrew just as the Chapman Yeerk now fought to control Chapman's brain. He said, I have control again. Miss Chapman nodded. Yes, but barely. They fight fiercely for their children, these humans. And they will not stop fighting. I can't maintain my cover. This host waiting to attack at every opportunity. I have to be at school every day. The host is beaten and exhausted, but in a few days he'll strike again. He sounded angry and frustrated. He's not a fool. He knows he can't win. He knows each battle even weaker and eventually I'll triumph. Miss Chapman kicked my cage like it was all my fault. He doesn't have to win. All I have to do is wait until you're at a meeting and then strike. They'll think you lost your mind. Chapman looked haunted. He checked his watch. I'll take the Andalite visitor free. Maybe I can make him understand. Go quickly, Miss Chapman told her husband. Chapman snatched the cage I was in. He burrowed for the door. He slammed me in the door jam on the way. Daddy, what are you doing? It was Melissa. She was across the living room. I hadn't seen her arrive. Where'd she been? I only pray she hadn't heard everything. If she heard it all, there was no hope for her. He kept walking out into the wet night. Daddy, do you have Fluffer in there? It's Melissa, I told Jake. If she doesn't back off, he's going to force them to take her. Daddy, she sounded frightened now. She came running. Chapman moved quicker. The real Chapman was helping. He knew his daughter would only make things worse. Fluffer, Melissa cried. There was only one hope. Tobias? Tobias, can you hear me? His answer was faint, but it was him. Yes, Rachel. The real Fluffer. We need him. We need him right now. What's going on? Jake demanded. Fluffer? Why are you taking Fluffer? Daddy, stop. Chapter 19. We're actually pretty close to the end by now, I believe. Out the front door he went, out into the night. Melissa sobbing pitifully, Jake demanding to know what was going on, Chapman walking as fast as he could. Melissa grabbed her father's arm and the cage wobbled wildly. Dad, you can't take Fluffer, don't take him away. What are you doing? The car, I could see in the driveway. We were almost there. Suddenly I heard a yammering, yowling, high-pitched sound started hissing and ended in a shriek. Like a bullet he came running across the lawn. The real Fluffer. He was running like a monster, like every monster in the world was right after him. In the darkness humans couldn't see what was scaring him so badly. My cat eyes I could see perfectly. Just a few feet off the ground like some dark shadow of death came Tobias. Fluffer must have recognized his cage and figured if he got inside he'd be safe from the talons of the raptor that pursued him. He leaped toward the cage, he glommed onto it and tried to dig his claws in the plastic. For one frozen instant, Fluffer McKitty saw something he'd never expected to see. He saw himself. It was almost as weird for me. The cat in my head was totally baffled. This new cat smelled exactly like himself. This didn't make any sense at all. It meant nothing. It wasn't even part of a cat reality. The human part of me noticed a small cut on Fluffer's head. Tobias taking a good swipe at him to get him moving in the right direction. Fluffer? Melissa said, but she tried to peer inside the cage. Chapman was quick. No, sweetheart, this isn't Fluffer at all. It's some other cat that sneaked in the basement. He's different. I'm taking him to the shelter so his owners can pick him up. But why didn't you just tell me that? He looked confused. I didn't notice you. Melissa stepped back like and slapped. But Daddy, I was crying. Sorry, he shrugged. He shoved the cage in the back seat. Well, that's just awful. We drove off and I breathed a sigh of relief. I knew Melissa wasn't safe yet, but she was safe for now at least. Good work, Tobias said, but I don't think he could hear me. I couldn't see out the window, so I didn't know if he or Margaret or Cassie were anywhere close. Jake, you still with me? Yeah, do you have a minute to fill me in? This distance is fine for hiding, but I can't tell you anything about what's going on. I'm in a cat carrier. Chapman's in the front seat. He watches me through the rearview mirror. He still has the Dracon beam. I think I'm in pretty big trouble. We're not beaten yet. Jake, time is getting short. It's been at least an hour. You must have morphed before me. You need to go away and morph back. We still have time. You have a watch, Jake? I don't think so. You're what, twice the size of a period on the page of a book? You can't risk getting trapped like this. Besides, there's nothing you can do. We hadn't traveled far before the car started bouncing and rattling over a rough road. As soon as we get outside, you need to jump off, Jake. Just make yourself jump away from the warmth and away from the smell of blood. You can do that. The car came to a stop. Rachel, there's no way I'm going to leave you alone. I knew he was trying to sound brave, but he's making me mad. Jake, we're trapped. He's got a Dracon beam and I'm in a cage. Visitor Free's coming to get me. I can't walk back or he'll see I'm human. Chapman will recognize me. How long do you think it'll take to figure out where the rest of us are? It'll be the end of all of us. The end of Animorphs. The end of the only hope for stopping these guys. Come on, Jake, you know it's true. We're not beaten yet, he repeated stubbornly. The only hope for being to stay in Morph. They'll probably, but at least I'll never find out about the rest of you. Now get off of me. Chapman got out of the car. He came around and opened the back door. Time to meet the visitor, Andalite. He'll have a wonderful time with you. He lifted me out of the back seat. I looked out for the bars. We're taking construction site, I told Jake, and I get off me. I'm not. I couldn't argue anymore. I was afraid now. Afraid. I pictured what he might do to me. Sorry, Jake, but this time I'm the boss. I cocked my rear leg and started scratching that rapid cat way. What are you doing? I'm scratching. I want you off. Okay, just stop. It's like an earthquake. Okay, Rachel, you're right. We lost this battle. Chapman carried the cage to the construction site, and I could see the ground go by beneath me. I can see through the bars all a half-built cinder block building. You see the very spot where the fighter's a coward in terror, Visor morphed into a monster and swallowed the like Prince. Can he morph from flea a tiger? No, you have to go through human first. You can't go from morph to morph. You have to go through their natural form first. Which is obviously the main issue, because if she wants to stop being a cat, she has to be human first, or she can turn anything else. Which means there's no way she can change back right now without revealing herself. That's what they were talking about. And Landolight's last despairing cry came back to me. He had lost his fight, now I was losing mine. Maybe there was no hope. Maybe we were fools to even try and resist the Yeerks. Get out of here, Jake. Okay, Rachel, here I go. Look, be strong. Yeah, Jake, you too. Jumping. A few seconds later, Cat had him put me on the ground. He waited beside the cage. The two of us steered off in the darkness. I decided to make sure Jake was gone. Jake? Jake? No answer. Jake, answer me. I changed my mind. I want you to stay. If he had lied to me, he would answer me now. Come on, Jake, I changed my mind. I need you. Also, he'd squish Rachel. Yes, exactly. That's also an issue. They'd be squished by the cat carrier if they try to change back. I mean, after he jumps off, okay, yeah, then he could morph into something else, but being a flea, you can't really tell where he is, so that's kind of a danger in itself. No answer. He was truly gone. The fact filled me with grim satisfaction. The Earth survived, there might still be some hope. But the feeling of loneliness was awful. I heard the sound of something large moving swiftly in the air. I pressed my head against the door and looked up. 3 craft were descending toward the construction site. 2 were small, about the size of one of those recreational vehicles, maybe a little larger. They had a cowed, insect-like look. They looked like beetles with 2 long, serrated spears pointed forward on each side. They had called them bug fighters. The 3rd craft was much larger, shaped like an angular battle axe. It was black on black, sharp and deadly looking. As it sank slowly towards us, I could feel my fear grow. It was not the cat that was afraid. It was me, the human. The cat didn't know what the ship was, and I did. I'd seen it before. They call it a blade ship. It was a personal ship of Visor Free, and terror seemed to flow from it. I could smell the fear sweat on Chapman. I guess I was glad he was scared too. Maybe Visor Free had become the Vanarchs and sucked the Chapman Yeerk out of Chapman's head. Maybe the true Chapman experienced a few seconds of freedom before he was killed. Maybe the Yeerk would suffer before he finished him off. Maybe. Fear is like a worm inside you. It eats you. It chews your guts. It bores holes in your heart and makes you feel hollow, empty, and alone. Fear. The blade ship landed beside 2 half-finished buildings. The bug fighters came to rest on either side. It looked strange part between 2 yellow paint earth movers and graders in the construction site. The earth movers looked like toys. The alien crab looked like deadly weapons. I was afraid. I tried to borrow the cat's courage and indifference, but then the door of the blade ship opened and I had no courage. Only fear.